Would you agree that I give great credit to Representative Massie, who stood on the floor and addressed the Congress during the debate on this bill, and he never criticized the president. He never criticized a fellow Republican. What he did was address the facts, and he laid them out very clearly. Let me quote what he had to say here. This bill is a debt bomb ticking.
Hey everyone, welcome back to True Voice, where facts matter, truth speaks loudest, and your voice is heard. I'm Andrew, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our takes on the issues that matter most. We're reacting to a fiery moment from a recent congressional hearing. The Treasury Secretary was on the hot seat, and let me just say, the frustration in that room was real. Let's watch.
And thank you, Mr. Secretary, for coming before the committee as well. It's pretty clear. And listen, now, who needs to get into arguments when you need answers? And but you can see the frustration on this side. I appreciate your loyalty to the president and understanding your responsibility, but it seems pretty clear that in the time that we're given to ask a question, et cetera, the reason that people are seeking yes and no answers is because of the time that's allotted. It has nothing to do with you personally or whatever. You're obviously very bright and intelligent. So, Mr. Secretary, would you agree that I give great credit to Representative Massie, who stood on the floor and addressed the Congress during the debate on this bill, and he never criticized the president. He never criticized a fellow Republican. What he did was address the facts, and he laid them out very clearly. Let me quote what he had to say here. This bill is a debt bomb ticking. Congress can do funny math, fantasy math if it wants, but bond investors don't. This week, they sent us a message. Moody's downgraded our credit rating, and the bond investors who buy and finance our debt demanded higher interest rates on a 10-year note, 20-year note, and 30-year note. What does this mean? Very soon, the government will be paying $16,000 in interest for paying $16,000 of interest alone per U.S. family. What are we telling them? Instead of taking care of that problem, we are going to give them a tax break. The frustration you hear up here, of course, is that there's denial that tax breaks don't add to the national debt. Was Moody's wrong? Was Representative Massie's assessment wrong?
I can tell you that clearly Representative Massie doesn't understand the bond market, and that any 24-hour window, as he's just said, is incorrect. That I will point out that the U.S. 10-year, which I repeatedly reference, is the only major 10-year bond that has a lower yield this year. So has a lower yield today than it did on January 1st or January 20th. German yields are higher, Japanese yields are substantially higher, but U.S. 10-year yields are lower. So I'm not sure what's on Representative Massie's mind.
So Massie is wrong, and Moody's was wrong too?
Moody's, even the Democrats say that.
What do you mean, even the Democrats?
The last time that the U.S.
I don't know. What do you have to do with Moody's? You know,
in 2011, when the U.S. was downgraded, Larry Summers, then NEC head, called Moody's a lagging indicator.
Is Moody's wrong or right? Yes or no?
Moody's is a lagging indicator,
okay,
and
so
anyone who
you can understand the frustration, and I appreciate your
Moody's
intelligence and ability to talk over. But when we're addressing the American people and we're in a hearing like this, someone as bright and as capable as you are could explain to the American people and still remain loyal to the president, loyal to our colleagues on this dais who supported the bill, there is a strong difference of opinion. And that's what is being expressed here, opinion. There's no focus or dedication on the actual facts. We'll find that out, and people on this aisle are saying, well, don't worry, there's going to be no impact on kids not getting food, 16 million people being kicked off of their health insurance. That's some mirage. That's some fictitious notion that Democrats have made up. And this national debt stuff, well, whether it's Moody's, whoever it is who has come out, whether it's the Wharton School, they're all wrong or misguided or uninformed, as Secretary Massie was. I yield back.
So let me break it down. A Republican member of Congress praised Representative Thomas Massie, yes, that Massie, for calling the debt ceiling bill a debt bomb and blaming Moody's downgrade and rising bond yields on bad fiscal decisions. Massie claims each U.S. family will soon owe $16,000 just in interest payments. And the crowd goes confused. Look, as a Democrat, I believe in accountability. I believe in honest dialogue. But I also believe in telling the truth, not spinning fantasy math and fear-mongering to score political points. What's ironic is Massie warns about funny math, but then throws around giant scary numbers with no real context. $16,000 in interest per family? That's not how government debt works. That's not how bond markets work. And you heard the Secretary push back hard. He said clearly, U.S. 10-year yields are lower today than they were earlier this year. Meanwhile, other countries, their yields are going up. If investors were really losing faith in America's credit, those numbers would show it. But they don't. What's frustrating here is that instead of focusing on real economic policy or solutions, we get performative outrage. We get the same tired myth that tax cuts don't add to the debt, even though history tells us they absolutely do. And when Democrats raise concerns about cuts to food assistance, health care, and working families, we're told it's a mirage, a fiction. Give me a break. If you care about this country, if you love it like I do, you don't ignore the impact on real people just to protect the wealthiest donors. Look, patriotism isn't blind loyalty. It's holding leaders accountable, whether they wear a blue tie or a red one. The Secretary is smart, no doubt. But being smart doesn't excuse avoiding direct answers when the American people deserve them. So what do you think? Was Representative Massie right to sound the alarm? Or was this just another distraction from real policy failure? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you believe in facts, fairness, and fighting for the people, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell. This is True Voice, and I'm Andrew, speaking truth no matter how loud the noise gets. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay bold.